Hello, Jurassic Player here, and I have a hopefully quick Yata Plus 3DS theme editor tutorial. And well, I guess we'll just go to it. Here's the theme I made. It's a Hatsune Miku theme because that's my default when I don't know what to make. And you can choose a new one. You can make a new and basic panoramic or animated bomb screen template. Um, it doesn't really matter which one you start with. You can change one to the other. So normally I go with just basic. And you can open up a previous theme that you've already made, like I've opened up right now. You can load a BGM, which the BGM is in BCSTM format. So it has to be already converted. And when you load, you have to make sure that your enable use of BGM is flagged on. Otherwise, it might not play. You can save as, reload the theme, generate PNG preview, install the theme on your 3DS somehow, I don't know how it happens, and then you have preferences. Generally, you don't really need to do anything to these preferences. They're preferences. If you want to look at it and change stuff, you can. Um, the heart of what you want to be doing on here is actually not these wonderful images that are on the main screen. That's kind of a ladder thing. Um, well, I wouldn't say ladder. It's what you do first, I guess, but it's not something that's really important. So, like here, this is a panoramic top screen. So it will scroll from this side all the way to that side, and then loop, which is why from on this side and on this side you can loop. I made it a looping image from a source file that I happen to find just on the internet somewhere. And then this is the animated bottom screen. So there's 3 frames. If you want to have it animated, of course. If you don't, then there are different image sizes, and you just put a single screen. Same thing for the top screen. If you just want it a single image, then you just put that image, and then the image size is different. But as you can see here, there's 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frames. Um, Depending on the type, the order that you see it as you scroll by changes. So if I go to my theme settings, you see here that I have flipbook cyclic. There's also flipbook tile, and then the slow scroll and the normal scroll. Slow scroll and normal scroll are for the panoramic. Top screen also has the same thing. So it has normal scroll, slow scroll, and then none, which is just a flat image. But flipbook cyclic, if we look here on this, it is 1 2 3 2 1, or yeah, 1 2 3 2 1. I'm not sure why this is should be the other way around, I think. Oh well. In any case, one of them is 1 2 3 2 1 as the animation, and then the other one is just 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and simple, not very hard at all. Um, this is your folder closed. There's an overlay that goes on top of this that fits right here. The template file should have it. You'll see a different color right here where there's a small overlay for if there's a file inside of that folder. And same thing here, there's an overlay on top right here. So you don't want to put it too low, otherwise the overlay will just have this magical cut off point and it'll just be floating. You want to keep it right at that point right here. And then the rest of the image you don't have to worry too much about. As you can see here, all of my images are PNG files, and I just loaded them in. So everywhere else is transparent on all of them. But when you save them and you reopen them, your template files, not your template, your theme files, it will fill in the color here. the background color and the rest of it to just a random neutral color. Uh, and those colors shouldn't be shown on the 3DS, so you don't have to worry about them. But like here is the border for your icons. It's only the right half, so right half mirror it. Like if you see here, it would be this half that I'm highlighting here, and then it would be mirrored onto the other half. Same thing for the border, 24 pixels. It's the smaller one. And then there's the top screen simple background. I believe this is just an image that you can tile on. He has an example somewhere, an example image or something. But I don't like simple, and so I'm not going to go into in depth about any of the simple E stuff. If you are wondering about image sizes, they're right here. The image itself for this top screen needs to be 1000. Was it? Here. Top screen texture scrolls. The image needs to be 1024 by 256 pixels, and then the drawable area, which is this area that you see colored in right here, has to be 1008 and 240. And so if you just follow this as your guide for all of that, it should be pretty easy to make the images that you need. And worst case, there's always other people's themes that you can use as a template. So I guess we'll go to simulate. No, we'll do that last. Here's where you will deal with a lot of your sound effect stuffs and adding your images in. So like right here, I go to the top screen and then I want to put an image in, so I import an image and select the image that I want, and it'll be loaded in. And you just do that for all of them. If you open up an image like someone else's theme, you're able to save that image, so you can save that image, or you can save a different image. And then you have import C-Wave chunk, export C-Wave chunk, and then create C-Wave chunk. Import export is if you already have a C-Wave chunk or you're using someone else's theme that already has a C-Wave chunk. The C-Wave chunk is just a sort of like a concatenated well, I don't know if anyone it's a grouped file with all the sound effects. So if you go to create C-Wave chunk, this is where you want to put in your sound effects. They have to be converted already, and so before we go through there, we're going to see this other start right here. Wave to C-Wave. You want to use this to convert your wave files. So whatever sound effect .wave. If you want to know what the sound effects are, then you just look at the create C-Wave file. There's move cursor, there's launch app, there's create delete folder, close app, open 3ds, and then bottom screen, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. I would think these are mostly self-explanatory. Open 3ds, of course, when you open up your 3ds and you're in your home menu, then it plays that sound effect. When you move your cursor, it plays that sound effect. When you go to the bottom screen and you move to the next frame, then it should play the sound effect that you put, and same thing for frame 2, frame 3. When you close an app, when you launch an app, create delete folders, it's pretty self-explanatory. The only thing you want to make sure is that you set all of these if you plan to use any of them. It does some really funky stuff if you only set like 1 or 2. I don't know if it's because the program is forgetting something, which is possible, or if it just doesn't work correctly on the 3DS itself when you do it. So best plan of action, just put all of them in. Normally you don't have to put different sound effects for the bottom screen, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. You can put them as the same sound effects, so you just have to put the same sound effect 3 times. And then you can remove it, or you can select it, put it in, and then this button has two functions. If you left click it, it will import it into your theme, and you don't have to worry about it. Or you can right click it to generate a C-Wave chunk, and then you can import this C-Wave chunk later on, or you can share it, whatever. And there's a C-Wave dumper. So if you open up someone else's theme and you just want the sound effects, you don't want the chunk, the C-Wave chunk, you can use the C-Wave dumper and then just dump the sound effects. I believe it dumps into .wave format. And then you have the BGM converters. Primarily you want to use the wave to BC STM. It is pretty much just these two functions put into one function. But if you want, you can convert it one at a time. And then this is to convert the C-Wave, BC STM, BR STM files into a WAV file. In case you want to extract it, convert it back to a WAV file that you can listen to. Let's see, what do I want to go to? When you load a file that has a song, bgm.bcstm, you can preview that if you load BGM, as I said earlier. And I believe it repeats once, or maybe even twice. And it's convenient, it's useful. But now onto theme settings. So theme settings, we have none, solid color with texture, squares, and texture. Normally, most people should be picking texture, because if you want a picture in the background, that's what you're going to use. The only other thing is if you want to use a solid with a texture, which is just like a tiled background, you can do that. And then the bottom screen, same thing. You have none, solid color, or texture. Invalid, I believe you don't use for anything. It's just kind of there. So for pictures, you want to use texture for both. Flags, there's only one thing you need to know about them. If you want to use it here, you flick the flag on. So like if you have this cursor color here, if you want to use a custom cursor color, then you set the cursor colors here and you flag it on. It's the same for the rest of these. Most of them match with their labels pretty much. The only one I think doesn't is this one right here that's enable custom folders, and then I think it should be this files one, but I'm not sure. And then if you're not using a texture, if you're using solid colors, you want to flick this one on, or maybe even the bottom one. I'm not sure what the bottom one does. But otherwise, do not flick these on, because it will cause funky stuff to happen. And if you want to use sound effects, make sure this is on. Same thing with BGM. For the colors themselves, I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to explain all of this. Most of this is self-explanatory. If you click on these question marks, it tells you 1, 2, 3, 4 from left to right. And if you follow this preview, it will show you most of the color changes. Not all of them, because the 3D folder and the files and like the close button and the game text, actually a number of these aren't actually shown on the preview. Hopefully they will be in the future, but at this current time, they aren't. But like stuff like the cursor, you can change. So if I wanted to, I could change this to a red color, and then you'll see it right there. And that's the shading, I believe. Yeah, shading. Or the dark color. And then pretty much you set all of these. If it says, where's one that says unknown? Like here. This one says unknown. That means the developer has no idea what it is. It doesn't seem to affect anything at the moment that he can notice. And nobody has taken the time to figure out what it is. That's pretty much what it means. Like this one right here, both me and another person spent a lot of time trying to figure out all the colors and what they did on this particular section. The folder arrow for when you open up a folder, and there's a back arrow right here, and that's what this controls. And there are a lot of controls on this single button, which is really freaking weird. But like there's the shadow offset, and then shadow position, and then the opacity of it. And it's, even though there's so many controls for this shadow, the shadow is like barely visible. It's stupid dumb. But as you can see here, there's the button shading, so like the darkened color, the main color, which in this case, if you look at this bottom button right here, would be like this color right here. And then the highlight, you don't really see the highlight here, but there's a highlight normally on the top of the button, just like that single bar right there. That would be the button highlight. And then the glow shadow color, that's the glow color. The arrow shadow would be this, like this arrow that you see here, except for the folder thing. So there's the shadow color of it, the unpress and the press color. And that's pretty much it. Game text would be the, when you have your icons really big, there's the bubble right here that says that what game it is and the rest of it. That would be your game text, and then the background color for it. And close button is the close button down here. Bottom buttons are the normal bottom buttons, and then the arrows are these arrows. The arrow button is the actual button. The folder background is when you open up a folder, there's this background here that opens up, and you can control that with these. There's the icon resize, which is this right here, and you can control those. You have the divider color, the line that you see right here, and then you have the button, normal button colors, which is the highlight shading, and then the default, and then the actual icons, which are these. And then the top overlay is this, the LR button, and then the Y button overlay bit. And so top overlay covers that. And then the demo message, I'm not exactly sure where that is. I've never really come across it, I don't think. And so I don't know where that is. But it has it there, and the colors are known, apparently. So these are the simple theme settings. These are like if you have a like solid colors and stuff like that. These things, one of these things, or maybe both of them, would be on, and yeah, it's pretty simple about. And then you can export your color data, all this data that you have here. You can export it, and you can import it, and then of course you have the save, you have the preview, and then you have cancel. I think that's about it. There's a simulate. It's a kind of generic simulation. It's not pixel perfect or anything. There's no anti-aliasing that's on here or anything like that. And it doesn't preview like the 3D folder or the folder background sort of stuff, or that and any of that sort of stuff, or even the icons but their borders, which it should, but it doesn't. It's kind of bad, but it's what we got right now, and hopefully in the future it'll be better. But if you press left or right, you can go through your animation. I think they're not completely pixel perfect, these icons here. I think. I can't remember. They may not be. Pretty much follow what this says on the side here. It may not be perfect. But that's about it. Opening your photo editor, if you go to your preferences and you set one, then you can open up using this button here. Um, that's about it, actually. There's not much else. When you save it, you will end up with this body underscore lz dot bin, and this bgm bcstm. If you include a if you put a song in, oh yeah, if you do put a song in, you load it with here, with load bgm, and then it should include it, I think. And then aside from that, there's this preview image that it can generate, if you choose to put the setting on, or if you press the button right here, generate PNG preview. And then it's pretty much these three that you need. The deck body lz.bin and then this temp bgm are both temporary files, and so they get deleted when you close it, in theory. So because I have this theme open, they're here, and because I load up the BGM, this is the actual file that's playing when I press this. But that's about it. Pretty much after that, you can archive it and then upload it, something. Primary places to upload, I would suggest uploading to FileTrip, which is GBA Temp's homegrown sort of download center. I would really suggest uploading to FileTrip, but if you want, you can upload to 3dsthemes.com, which I do not like. I do not like this website very much at all. But that's kind of just my own personal dislikes and my belief that these guys don't really know how to web dev. It's also a lot less convenient to manage your themes. The only things you can do with your themes are delete them or upload them. Like, you can't change the description or use a different file type or update it or anything. It's kind of just, you upload once, and then if it's wrong, you delete it and upload it again. Lose all your download counts, which sometimes doesn't matter, sometimes it does. But yeah, there's tons of weird bugs that appear. This search bar can be hacked to all hell. But yeah, use it if you want. They're gonna have like a donator slash premium user something or other later on. So I don't know. I don't like what they're planning on doing with it. So FileTrip is good. FileTrip is free. You get like a couple gigs that you can upload if you want, and yeah, that's that. That's how you make themes. There's not really too much about them. Mostly you're going to be relying on these little question marks that will tell you everything you need to know, and then just making sure that you have all of these flicked on. Aside from that, it's just what images you want to put here, what sound effects you want, and that's it. You just save it. So that's pretty much everything, and I believe this has been quite a while. So if you have watched this far, then thanks for watching, I guess. Um, Otherwise, you totally will not hear any of this, but that is okay. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll watch whatever I have next. I'm very sporadic with this, and have a lot of fun theming the 3DS. I would say it's somewhat enjoyable, not completely enjoyable because of how this theme editor is set up. Most of what you're working with is going to be in this theme settings, and a lot of it is not easily viewable. Like, the previewer does help, but it doesn't provide you with everything that you want to preview. And so, not having it super accurate is kind of a put off. But other than that, it's okay. So, yeah, enjoy, have fun theming. Don't make bad themes. Please don't make bad themes. I dislike bad themes so much. And yeah,